All right, we're back to Chapter 5, Video 20. And this one, we're going to have a look at. You might have noticed in my program that at the top of my screen, I've got this thing here called File, Commands, and Help. And it looks kind of like, File, Edit, and View. At the top, this is a menu control. When you click on these, you get commands in here. You can see how that pops up. And in my program, you'll also notice that when it runs, you'll notice I've got commands, File, Command, and Help. Well, in my program, I basically took the functionality of my program, like my Save and my Open, File, and Exit, that's these buttons down here, and I've just added it here and put a little line here to separate. My commands, add an item list, that was my first program. The for, do, while, that was another one. So for example, it does the for. If I do my while, it does the while command. If I want payments, well, I'd have to enter in some, some numbers in here and put in some proper data. Otherwise, I'm going to throw an exception and go down to payment, which is payment. And it didn't work. I probably didn't do that one. All right, and then pick a random number. Didn't add that one either. But did I do add an item? Oh, I guess I have to add an item. And then say add an item. There we go. I did that one. Under help, I just simply did a message box. Press press buttons until things happen. That's my advice for help. And an about box. Well, this is an in-class exercise number 5. My about box. So I put in some functionality inside my menu ribbon here at the top. And this is actually relatively easy to do. In your program, at the top here, you'll notice that I added it simply by a control. And if you think about controls are in your toolbox, so I open up my toolbox and I look for drawers. Okay, where would the menu be in the drawer? Well, there's actually here called Menu and Toolbars. So I went in here and picked the menu strip at the top. This is kind of a neat one right here called the status strip at the bottom, because a lot of programs have status strips as well. I mean, all these programs have that. But we'll look at this one here called the menu strip. When I click on menu strip, I can put it at the top of my form. And then from there, when I'm in the design mode of my controls, I can simply just add what I want. So for example, I could say, let's add another one here called Hello World. There we go. And from there, if I want to add even a subset, I can say Hello World 2, 2. All right. So then when I compile it, it just adds that particular menu item. And we got Hello World 2. And when I click on it, nothing happens because I haven't assigned it to any event handler. But if I did want it to an event handler, I simply just double click on the menu item and it opens up a exit tool strip menu item, just like it would if it was a command button or any other thing. When I click it, I'm simply going to just close the program. All right, so from there, it's just a matter of getting in and playing around with how the tool gets organized, and moving things up and down. And again, that can happen using the properties of the object. So if I right click it and I go down to properties, or I go over to the property list over there, and you can see here that you can manipulate the collection. This is similar to adding a collection. And we got the collection right here. That's the menu item. And we can add those spacer bars or whatnot. So you can play around with that. It's not a very difficult tool to sort of figure out how to organize a menu bar, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Kind of a neat little feature. You want to add some functionality to your program. So now when I run my program, I don't have to rely simply on clicking the mouse, or if I hit the Alt key, you got the A here for add. So if I go here, Control Alt A, that should execute. Oh, look at that! I've got it set up for the wrong one. So I got to be careful. I think I've got Alt A. Yeah, there it is. Save. All right, so there's an A here and there's an A here. So this one should probably be an S. So I got to go through all my hotkeys to make sure I haven't duplicated any. The other option, of course, is if I could use my cursor keys and say while, Control C, and then go to 4. So you're giving more functionality to your program. All right, so that's a little fun thing on how to create a menu in your application.